It's the weekend and therefore it is Demon of the Week time, and today we are going to be having a look at Leraje. Wait for it. It's Leraje, or there's various pronunciations to this one. Leraje. I think some people will even put a bit of a French inflection into it and make it Leraje. As far as I know, to be sure, it is actually pronounced Leraje. Okay, so make your mind up. Leraje. So I think make your own mind up on that. I do use Leraje myself, so up to you. Alright, so correspondences to begin with. Dates is August 2nd to 11th. Direction is south. Tarot, Six of Wands. Planet, Moon. Element is fire. Color is violet. Plant, plantain. Incense. Incense I don't know because I actually wrote Leraje here. So I'll have to go back and check that. I'll put it in the description below after I've checked. Don't know why I did that. Zodiac is Leo 10 to 20 degrees, and other correspondences are silver, lemon peel, rosemary, and bay leaves. Alright, instead of doing the N at the end, I'm going to start doing it at the beginning after the correspondences. So the N is Kai Men Vefa Leraje. Quite a simple one. Nice simple one. You can put that into a nice quick rhythm and get yourself into trance with it. In the Goetia, Leraje is stated as being a marquis, great in power, showing himself in the likeness of an archer, clad in green and carrying a bow and quiver. Alright, so this always brings to mind Robin Hood for me. Although he's got very little to do with Robin Hood, but always brings to mind the image of Robin Hood. The Goetia goes on to say, he causeth all great battles and contests, and maketh wounds to putrefy that are made with arrows by archers. Connolly, let's have a look at Connolly quickly. Aside from general expectation magics, you can seek the wisdom of Leraje during conflicts in order to resolve them. Leraje also gives good counsel to those seeking help on relationships with difficult people. Alright, so Leraje is very much a conflict resolution type of spirit. Let's just go back to the Goetia. He causes all great battles and contests. And then Connolly goes on to say great for, or gives good counsel for those difficult relationships or relationships with those difficult people. Probably more conflict resolution rather than causing the conflict, as stated in Goetia. There is a quote from Rufus Opus that was on Vico Johannum's site. Let's just have a look through that. Leraje is a spirit of warfare and battle. Specifically, he inflames the passions of those predisposed to dislike one another and causes tension and stress to erupt into violence. While this is not the best course of action for resolving conflicts, there are times when it is necessary to provoke a confrontation in order to release pent-up aggression that stands in the way of achieving resolution. He is also tasked with causing wounds made by arrows to putrefy. In modern times, there are fewer arrow wounds, but in arguments and debates, saying hurtful things is something we often do. This spirit is adept at making the things we say hurt even more, so be careful if you are working with this spirit. Alright, so I think that really puts it all together. Leraje from the Goetia is a spirit of warfare and battle, but as Connolly said, very good for helping to bring about conflict resolution. So what we're looking at here is very much a spirit which can incite the passions within the two parties in order to come to heads and get it all out on the table, basically. And sometimes that is what is needed in order to resolve a situation. Because what we usually find is that two people will be so stubborn and just sit there and go, it was your fault, no, it was your fault, no, it was your fault. And actually not getting to a resolution, because all they're doing is passing the buck, trying to make themselves appear better than they really are. And what happens with Leraje is it brings these two people together in such a way that it causes conflict, and it creates this war-like atmosphere that they can be at each other's throats. And yes, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be painful, and it's going to be harmful, and it's could get quite violent. But what then happens is everything gets put out on the table, and then it gets resolved. Okay, might sound like a bit of a weird way to go about it, but it can, in some situations, it is very effective. And the maketh wounds to putrefy, I can't say that word, putrefy, that are made with arrows by archers. As Rufus Opus mentioned, we don't have people going around with bows and arrows, shooting them and causing harm, which then the wound can putrefy from Leraje's assistance. But we do have arrows that we speak with. We throw arrows with our words. So Leraje can come along and make those words more harmful. So, if that is something that can benefit you, great. If it's not, then just be careful when working with the spirit, because that energy can influence that action, can influence those things. So even if you're working with Leraje for one particular thing, and this comes into effect with all of the spirits, if you're working with a spirit for one particular thing, but they also can be there to create, develop, or bring about something else, just remember that energy is also there. So if you are working to, let's say, bring peace, you're going to try and bring a resolution to conflict between two people who are just stubborn-headed mules. Just remember that energy of the nasty words, the arrows being thrown by our voice, by our thoughts, that's going to be there as well. So keep a wrap on that, keep an eye on it, because it can get quite difficult. If you do want to bring about conflict resolution, and you want to do it in a more peaceful manner, Leraje is probably not the spirit you want to work with. But as I said, in some situations it can be very effective. Just a few things that Johannam also stated. Helps one recover lost people or items. So if you have lost something, and this can fall under a variety. There's a couple spirits within the Goetia that deal with this. Finding lost items or lost people. And this, when we talk about finding lost items or lost people, it can be somebody who's run away. It can be an item that has been stolen. It can be a person that has been kidnapped. These are all lost from us. They have been removed from us. We don't know where they are, therefore they are lost. So, it's not just you lost your car keys and you can't remember where you put them. It can be a situation where something has been taken from you, so it has been stolen or a person has been kidnapped. Those are again lost items. He also states, teaches the art of astral projection, which is quite handy. Make which less gullible. Teach how to handle all sorts of emergencies and natural disasters, and good teacher for nature-based sorcery and necromancy. Okay. Alright, so that's Leraje or Leraje or Leraje or Leraje or however you want to say it. As I say, I came to know it as Leraje. So if you want to use that, that's fine. Okay, so I think that's it for that one. Let's just have a look. Next week I'm going to be doing Eligos or Eligos. Alright. You'll find there's different people will pronounce most of these in different ways. I don't think anybody's really, unless you speak to the spirit directly, and even when you speak to the spirit directly to people, probably going to be given two different pronunciations anyway most of the time. So yeah, Eligos. There we go. Alright, I'll see you next week. Have a good one for now. Cheers.